Hello, it's Colin. Here is my seventh film journal for A Fistful of Dollars. So I thought Fistful of Dollars was a really exciting and fun movie, and I think it really connects to the classic Western settings and themes that we discussed in our lecture. So I think Fistful of Dollars connects to classic Western settings in the way that the movie's made up almost entirely by cowboys if they're shooting each other and how they're fighting over power in a town and over land. It also connects to a lot of classic Western themes, such as the lack of real law by government in the movie, and how the law is kind of dictated by the most powerful group in the town, which is the Rojos. Some examples of how the Rojos set the laws in the town, like these unwritten laws, is by torturing and killing people without hesitation. An example of this is when they tortured the protagonist because he wouldn't confess where Marisol was. Another example of this is when the Rojos tortured Silvanito because they believed that he knew where the protagonist was, even though he didn't, but he had other information. Everyone is scared of the Rojos because of their willingness to torture and kill, and this makes them the most powerful people in the movie, and it allows them to set the law of the land. Another theme of classic Western films is pride and stubbornness, and an example of this is obviously all the other cowboy characters, but also one who wasn't really a cowboy, Silvanito, when he wouldn't speak about the protagonist at all, no matter how much they tortured him. Even though he wasn't some sharpshooter or really scary, intimidating guy, by the end of the movie, I came to have a lot of respect for him and thought he was almost as badass as the main character because of the way that he didn't snitch out the protagonist no matter what. So, another theme of classic Western films that I feel connects to Fistful of Dollars is how there's a theme of good versus evil throughout the entire movie. Throughout the entire movie, the protagonist, the stranger, is fighting against evil, and although I don't think he's a perfect person, everything he does really traces back to fighting the bad guys in the town. An example of this is when the protagonist saves Marisol from the Rojos, where she's kidnapped, and reunites her with her family and lets her and her son and whoever that other guy was, I think it may have been her husband or whatever, when he helps them to escape. It seems like the protagonist only lets bad people get killed throughout the movie, although I don't think he's some perfect saint, great guy because he let that entire house of the Baxters get murdered. I guess though he also couldn't do much to stop it. If he would have went over in the coffin, they would have probably still killed him, and they already lit the building on fire. Also, the Baxters weren't perfect because they would have done the same things the Rojos did if they were able to be in their position. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I thought the movie was really good, and I thought it connected to a lot of classic Western themes in film. So yeah.